Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Come on in. Come on in. You already know what we into. We in the current events. We post little videos out there for y'all to do the, analyzing of the video. And then when class start, have your homework. Don't hit me with the dog ate the homework. We know that excuse. You know what I'm saying, class? Come on in. The door's open. We'll be getting into today, class. We already heard Senator Ted Cruz slam Joe Biden. Let's get into it. We getting straight into it, ladies and gentlemen.
I know that you and I both agree that it is important for Russia to suffer a crushing defeat. Putin is a KGB thug, and he's committed to undermining our interests. And our enemies across the globe, including in particular China, are watching carefully
now, China,
what happens in Ukraine.
And you hear Ted Cruz, this is coming from his mouth. So if China is one of the enemies, why is Hunter Biden in the bed with China? Let's go.
The Iranian regime is watching as well.
Iran
is committed.
The Iranian regime is watching as well. Now they the people that's burning the American flags in Iran and Iranians. Just burn American flags, like that's part of their culture now. But yet, this administration trying to make deals with them. Let's go.
To doing everything they can to ensure Putin's victory. They're supplying Putin with resources, especially drones, which are devastating Ukrainian civilians and military.
So they supplying Ukraine with drones, but Biden trying to make deals with Iranians. That don't make sense. So you funding the war on one hand, but then on the other hand, you in the bed with the enemies that's supplying Russia with drones.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration, which waived the sanctions on Nord Stream 2, the last and best hope of preventing the war, right now today continues to be obsessed with a new nuclear deal with Iran. Iranian officials say talks remain ongoing, while administration officials say they remain committed to diplomacy, but not right now. I'm deeply concerned that this administration, even in the middle of a war, is subordinating the need to counter the Russian-Iranian alliance to its own partisan political preferences. For example, this administration has dropped the general UN arms embargo against Iran. This administration has made Russia our intermediary in nuclear talks with Iran. This administration has issued sanctions waivers, allowing the Ayatollah to become Putin's nuclear client. This administration has withheld weapons for Ukraine to target Iranian operatives in Crimea, helping Russia launch drones. And this administration has avoided using relevant sanctions authority against Iranian banks, facilitating the transfer of drones to Iran. As a result, Iran has been able to dramatically boost Putin's war in Ukraine. Meanwhile, America, the American taxpayer, are shouldering the burden of assisting Ukraine, while the Biden administration is greasing both sides of this war. Let's talk about Iran's supply of drones to Russia. The Biden administration made an
Biden, they got their hands in both sides of the war, y'all. Both sides of the parties in the war. That's crazy. Got his hands in the Iran deal Iranian deal, which the Iranians are supplying Russia with drones. But then you got Biden administration aiding Ukraine with weapons and aid. It's crazy. So he making money on both sides of the party, y'all. And guess who's suffering behind all this foolishness and madness and mad spending? The American people is suffering. But yet y'all don't want to hold this dude, slow Joe Biden, accountable of his actions. Why is that? Because y'all part of the go along, get along gang. Now most of y'all realizing that you part of the go along, get along gang, and you went out because you got secrets that you're going to release to the American people. Now let's listen to slow Joe Biden. Let's listen to this senile Scooby-Doo stunt double, don't know his left from his right character. Listen to what he got to say, y'all.
I don't get what process has we made since y'all been in. Y'all only been in for 2 years. And the only progress I see is we in turmoil. Let's go. That's why the MAGA Republicans deliberately choose to inflict this kind of pain on the American people.
How is he still blaming it on the MAGA Republicans for the turmoil we in? Why is this man still blaming MAGA Republicans for the turmoil that we're in? See, right there, he's not owning up to leadership of the free world. And this is y'all king? This is y'all king? This is the one y'all ran out and said you wasn't black if you don't vote for him? This is y'all king? Huh? The dude that don't know his left from his right? The dude that was caught up in mini conference sleeping? Sleepy Joe? Y'all forgot about that? What the hell is Joe Biden talking about, ladies and gentlemen? What is he talking about?
Since your administration been in office, and it haven't even been 4 years.
It haven't even been 4 years.
Of course, the American people went through so much and still going through a whole lot, man. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? That happened. I will not let it happen. Not on my watch. I will veto everything they say.
There go again, ladies and gentlemen, with the veto. And I told y'all in another video, it can be 275 people that voted ye, and this one president or one governor can veto it. Why is he vetoing it if they coming up with a plan for the deficit, to budget it out, but you gonna veto everything they put on your desk? See, you keeping the American people in turmoil, and then you turn around and say it's the MAGA Republicans that's causing all this foolishness and turmoil. But you're the one in charge. You're the leader of the free world, aren't you, Joe? Take responsible, man. Stop playing the blame game. Ever since you've been in this White House for these last couple years, you've been playing the blame game. You're not owning up to none of your mistakes, man. We can't take you serious at this point, dog. We can't take you serious. And whoever take you serious, they part of the go along, get along gang.
And veto 275 votes, y'all. So then I asked y'all, do your vote really count? Not on my watch. I will veto everything they say. He will veto everything that they say. It's crazy, y'all. See how the House is divided?
A divided House. The Republicans and the Democrats are divided. If the House is divided, it's bound to fall. And with this foolishness that we seeing from the Barnum Bellis Circus Act, coming from the White House, Elijah Muhammad once said it. The fall of America. Within. The fall of America within. Of greed, envy, non-worthy of being a president. Every president steals. I got a video. It's up. It's called the Why Joe Biden Acting Like a Baby. Listen to the video. Watch the video, both halves of it. That's the Republicans, U.S. Congress that's up there coming up with a plan for the goddamn debt, the debt ceiling. But remember what Joe Biden said. He's going to veto everything they put in his face. And he's going to lie to the American people and tell y'all that it was the Republicans.
Like I said, the Democrats and the Republicans need to be abolished.
Need to. Both parties need to.
Two whole new parties.
Both parties need to be abolished.
Truth, justice,
off the face of the earth.
For the American people.
Because both sides were stealing. Every time they take office. It started what? Before Bush was the president. We talking Bush Sr. They telling us, if you watch the video of why Joe Biden acting like a baby, it will tell you what the deficit was before Bush Sr. took office. Out of 10 to 20 presidents, the deficit was only at $4 trillion. This before Big Bush Sr. took office. Then when Big Bush Sr. took office, it went up to $10 trillion. Then when Clinton took over, whatever the case may be, it went up again to another $20 trillion. Every president that comes inside the White House steals money, y'all. And then they act like they don't know where the money at. Sounds familiar? Do that sounds familiar? But I ain't gonna get in that. I'm gonna give you a pass on that one. But those who've been following my channel know what I'm talking about. People placing money in certain accounts and they don't know where the money at. But far as with these thieves, they've been placing trillions of dollars in their accounts, getting rich off the American people's back. And we are suffered with the tab. We put these people first, they put us last. Wake up.
Not after all the progress you made, how they want to raise your gas prices.
Oh, what progress, dude?
All raise the gas prices. Everything happened when this administration took office. The high gas prices, the high prices at the market, inflation, credit card interest rates, mortgage rates, used cars went up. Everything been turmoil. It's not even 4 years yet. It's only like 2.5 years. Ladies and gentlemen. But listen to your king of the free world, and he'll tell you that everything is okay.
What progress have y'all made? Only progress y'all have made, the mega up and in the hole prices at the world.
Percent of their income.
World.
Prices. They want to cut taxes for billionaires who pay virtually only 3% of their income now. Not after all the progress we made and how far we've come. Last week.
Oh, what progress, dude? What progress have you made? You foreign these other foreign countries. You let migrants cross the border at an all-time high that we never seen. Our kids never seen. Our parents never seen. What are you talking about, dude? When is somebody going to wake this guy up, man? Like I said, he need to be overthrown, y'all. He need to be overthrown out that goddamn White House, y'all. And this is our free leader of the free world?
National sales tax on everything from food, clothing, school supplies, housing, cars,
Hold on.
sales prices. They want to cut tax
To this hypocrite.
Now, this is what he said the the Republicans want to do. This is what he's saying that the Republicans want to do. Everything that he already did. Everything that he's already doing, rather, that got the American people suffering. Now he's going to play the blame game and point the finger at the Republicans. Let's go.
The man y'all call y'all leader of the free world.
prices. They want to cut taxes for billionaires who pay virtually only 3% of their income now. Not after all the progress we made and how far we've come. Last week, they want to impose a 30% national sales tax on everything from food, clothing, school supplies, housing, cars, sales tax on everything you buy, from eggs to automobiles.
That's your administration, dude. What are you talking about? Everything you saying, your administration.
He's trying to do scare tactics, ladies and gentlemen. He do scare tactics. They known for scare tactics, y'all. They known for that shit. Let me ruffle up the American people while I get and steal $10 trillion. Nothing but turmoil, y'all. He let these migrants cross the border. He flew Afghanistan refugees in. I understand the war that's going on in Ukraine. They didn't let Ukraine refugees come in. They turned away the Haitian migrants that was trying to cross the border. We seen that. They turned them around at the border. You know, treated them like in the past slaves. Was treating the migrants from Haiti at the border like the past slaves on horses and whips. We got the footage. I ain't gonna get into that right now because it's not about that. But it's showing you what this administration, both parties are about. Both parties. I ain't gonna play the blame game and point the fingers. I'm gonna hold both parties accountable for your actions that been going on in America. Let's go.
It's the cause of everything that's happening now. But you're still trying to blame it on the MAGA Republicans. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been told y'all vote don't count. One man can veto 275 votes like he just said. He's going to veto everything. Let's go.
Economic growth is up, stronger than expert expected at 2.9%. We're growing. Jobs.
That's a lie. They see what they do is they throw economic growth in there so they can steal money. They say economic growth. That meaning it's companies that's willing to invest into America and they tax those companies. But ain't no companies been coming to America. You've been funding these other foreign countries with the American people's money. They just approved another what? $1 trillion and shit for Ukraine. To buy tanks and shit. But yet, you in the bed with the Iranians that's funding Russia with drones.
The highest in American number and the highest in American history. The wages are up. Jobs are
The wages are up. The wages are not up. In Pennsylvania, they haven't had a pay raise in 15 years. It's still at $7.25 an hour. Y'all been hollering this raise shit since pre-pandemic. There's never been a raise in Pennsylvania. Minimum wage start in Pennsylvania is $7.25 an hour. And it's been like that for a long time.
The mayor number and the high.
Minimum wage.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
$7.25 an hour.
But let's go. Let's go, y'all.
In his words.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Video to hold him accountable of his words and his actions, ladies and gentlemen. We've been in turmoil since this administration been in office.
Facts.
Turmoil.
Facts.
Let's go.
Manufacturing jobs continue to go up stronger than any time in the last 40 years. And I don't think it's unfair to say that this is all evidence that the Biden economic plan, because y'all, is actually working. It's working. No question.
Look at him, y'all.
My mother here.
Look at him right there, y'all. Look at this one character right here. He like, what the hell is this dude talking about? What the hell? Let's go check him out, y'all.
And I don't think it's unfair to say that this is all evidence that the Biden economic plan, because y'all, is actually working. It's working. No question.
There he is. Look,
By the
y'all.
way, my mother here, she was now we got to protect those gains. Got to protect those gains that our policies have generated. Protect them from the MAGA Republicans in the House of Representatives who are threatening to destroy this progress. That's why the MAGA Republicans deliberately choose to inflict this kind of pain on the American people. Why? Look, Republicans want to work together on real solutions to continue to grow manufacturing jobs and build the strongest economy in the world to make sure Americans are paid a fair wage. I'm ready. But I will not let anyone use the full faith and credit of the United States as a bargaining chip. The United States of America, we pay.
It's not a bargaining issue, but you bargain with these other countries. America's not a bargain, but you bargain with other countries. Do y'all not hear what this dude's saying? One minute he's saying this, and then the next hand he's saying this. That's a hypocrite, y'all. This dude shouldn't even been president. I keep telling y'all that.
In the entire state of Missouri.
You pay your debts to other countries. What you mean you pay your debt? America has a low credit score money. You've been bambooed being slaves.
In all those cabinet members, secretaries, Commerce, Labor, Transportation, Treasury, Energy, Health and Human Services, Environmental Protection Agency, and putting them in a subcabinet, they have to pay a minimum of 15%. My God.
This administration was a bust, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to tell y'all, but this administration was a bust. You've been bamboozled, you've been hoodwinked, you've been all that shit, all rolled up in one. Because you haven't learned your lesson. What else we got here, y'all? About them 5 police officers that's being charged in Memphis. They supposed to play the video later on today. Later on this evening after 6 o'clock. What y'all think gonna happen to them? They're gonna crucify them niggas. That's what's gonna happen. Because we all know in the Rodney King verdict, those cops was acquitted. And it was on video. Let's get into that. Let's get to that. You hear that man? Ah! They beating him, telling him not to move. It was on video. And all 4 of those officers got found guilty, right, ladies and gentlemen? Did those 4 officers get found guilty? They still doing time, right, y'all? They were acquitted for beating Rodney King's ass down there to death. This was in California in 91. But before that happened, it was a little sister of ours named Letitia. Letitia was 15 years old. Natasha. And I remember Tupac Shakur, may his soul rest in peace, said something about that in one of his raps. What about little Latasha? Y'all remember that? Now, little Latasha was 15 years old. She lived in California. She walked into a Korean store to buy a bottle of orange juice. And the Korean lady accused her of stealing a bottle of orange juice. And they was at the counter. And words was exchanged. I believe Natasha swung, hit the Korean lady behind the counter. She pulled out a gun and shot little Natasha in the back of her head. She died right on the scene. She died before she could hit the ground. Her little body, with the $2 still clutched in her hand. Let's get to that. For those who don't know, and then the young lady that's in the video, I guess that's her cousin, spoke about they don't teach our past history in schools. But a lot of you Negroes out there will always say, get over the past. That was in the past. Our kids need to know their past. So if they know their past, they won't make the same goddamn mistakes that our ancestors made in the past. But they don't talk about this and teach this in school. Little Latasha was 15 years old, y'all. They said they got a documentary on Netflix. I don't know the name of it, but I'm going to look it up. And I'm going to check that out later on this evening if they still got it up on Netflix. That was sad, y'all.
Stand the LA riots of 1992 is to know its backstory. Was ready to go to is infamous, but 2 weeks after this, there was a case that would also shake South Central LA to its core.
It was like Emmett Till. Everybody just ready to go to war. Everybody ready to fight.
Latasha Harlins was 15 when she was shot and killed by a liquor store owner, a Korean immigrant, who accused the teen of trying to steal a bottle of orange juice.
We grew up together. We only 4 months apart. So we grew up together in the same house all the way from birth till the day she passed away. So it's my sister.
Shanice Harlins Kilgore is Latasha's younger cousin. You lived how far from this market?
Roughly a half a block away.
And it's normal to come here.
Normal to come here.
Here is now at Numero Uno Market. Back in 1991 at Figueroa and 91st, it was Empire Liquor.
I can still see her right there where she dropped that in the front of the camera, from the video. So, no, I don't go in there.
Security video captured a scuffle between clerk and
Right there.
customer. Sunjadu shot.
She jumped across the counter. Well, she ain't jump across the counter. She just had, she swung on her. She did hit the clerk. But the clerk still ain't had no right to shoot her in the back of her head. You see, she was assaulted. She should have called the officers. You know what I mean? Kept a description of her. Gave it to the 911 operator. She pulled the gun out and blasted her. Blew her brains out, ladies and gentlemen, over a bottle of orange juice, allegedly.
I can still see her right there where she dropped that in the front of the camera, from the video.
This the fight coming up, y'all.
Security video captured a scuffle between clerk and customer. Sunjadu shot the teen in the back of the head, killing her. Witnesses said Harlins had cash in her hand.
To die with $2 in your hand, that lets you know that she was not that person that the media or whomever say so is what she is.
Du was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, but given probation. Then came April 29th, 1992.
She was given probation, ladies and gentlemen. And see, all this happened during the Rodney King situation, but this played out before the verdict came out. You know what I'm saying? But then here's the verdict of the Rodney King aftermath.
Four LAPD officers acquitted. Rioters took to the streets, and after years of cultural tensions, half the businesses burned or looted. 2,000 of them were Korean-owned.
This 15-year-old child who got her brains shot and blown out over a dispute of a bottle of orange juice was the precursor to the civil unrest in 92 after the jurors found the LAPD cops not guilty for beating Rodney King.
That was activist Najia Lee last year.
We will never forget Latasha Harlins.
It was at a playground dedication and a mural of Latasha Harlins at Elgin Sutton Recreation Center.
It's really beautiful.
There's a whole generation that may not know the story of Latasha Harlins, but there is a movie in the works, and last year a Netflix documentary got an Oscar nomination. You used to come to this park as a child every day?
There it is there, y'all. Netflix.
What to have that artwork?
Priceless. Lots of emotion.
The Rodney King beating. I was a young anchor during this era, reporting live during the 1992 civil unrest. This picture ending up in a university textbook to the Harlins family, documenting history matters.
Just so that this generation can know about what happened 30 years ago, because they don't know. If you ask an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, it's not taught in school. It's not taught in their household, or it's just,
Facts.
it needs to be relevant right now.
Fact. That's a fact, sis. Parents don't teach it in their household, right? Because most of the parents in the household, they still young themselves. They still living their, well, trying to live their teenager years, which, you know, they parents, but the responsibility goes back to my first initial video when I started discussing the breakup of the African American family. You see? All it stems from that, y'all. It all stems back to that. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. But what else we got here for current events today? Slow Joe Biden being carried out when they was talking about the budget deficit. That's that's the U.S. senators, Congress, having a meeting.
To every citizen, every business. The federal government is a pain in the butt to all of us. They want to tell every one of us how to lead our lives. They want to tell every business how
See
to
that?
lead their lives. To all
It's him talking, y'all. Mr. Charlie said the government is, you know what I mean, want to tell you how to live your life.